What's happening, my Kodashim? Have we got a good one today? We are digging into the Paleo Hebrew. Now, if you haven't ever looked into Paleo Hebrew, I highly recommend it. There's definitely a lot of resources out there telling us and showing us things that we've probably just never considered before. That the actual Hebrew Aleph Bet is the original language of creation that the Creator gave to mankind. And originally, these letters within the Hebrew Aleph Bet declared something. They showed something. They were symbols. They had more depth than what we have in our current English language. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at Genesis 1:1, and we will see that the Aleph Bet is used throughout the entire book of Genesis, or the entire chapter of Genesis, chapter 1. And what I'm going to do, if you look here on the left side of the screen, I have Aleph. The word Aleph, or the letter Aleph, A, represents a head, a leader, a strength. B is Beit, the house, the womb, the container. Gimel is to walk. It means to move, to traverse. Dalet is an opening, a door. It lets light in. Hey is to behold, to lift up, to raise your hands, to praise, to lift up. Wa is like the connector. It's the stake. It secures things. It's the number 6 is the number for man. Zion is a tool. It's an instrument. The Sabbath rest. It's life. Het is to divide, is to border off. Tet is to surround, encompass, to gather together. Yod is the hand. It's the work, the action. Kaf, the open hand, is to make or to subdue, to create. Lamed, it's like the leader, it's the shepherd's hook, it corrals in the sheep. Mem is the waters, the blood, the chaos, movement. Nun is like the seed, the offspring, twists and wind. Samek is a hedge, a prick, or it connects things. Ayin is the eye. It gives sight and vision to know. Sight and vision to know. Pei is the mouth, like an open face or to speak. Tzadeh is the way of righteousness. It's the side of something. It's the right way. Kuf is the horizon, the cycle, the rising. It's time. Resh is the head, chief, man, and Sheen is teeth, devour, fire. And Tav is the mark. It's like a monument. So X marks the spot. So these Paleo Hebrew letters, I'm actually using Erectology font here with this particular teaching. It's because I have that font downloaded on. But you can go to a couple different resources if you want to check them out. Erectology.net. Watch his YouTube video. He's got a lot of good stuff and a lot of good resources here on the Paleo Hebrew Aleph Bet. And then, of course, also you have the Ancient Hebrew Research Center with Jeff Benner and this website. So that's good one to check out if you're ever into understanding more about our Paleo Hebrew Aleph Bet. So what I did here, I went into Genesis chapter 1, and I kind of correlated some of the types, these letters, and what they represent, what they mean. And I went through the entire book, or the entire chapter, Genesis chapter 1, and kind of transposed these ideas, these concepts of each Hebrew letter onto the text. So what I did here is I kind of just took each letter and replaced some of the words or put it next to some of the words just so that we could communicate some of the idea behind the paleo and what's being talked about here in Genesis 1. And we'll see that all 22 letters of the Hebrew Aleph Bet are being used here in expressing some of the actions that's taking place here. So if you look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning, Aleph, so Elohim, being the head, the leader, the strength, he created with his hand the Bet, the house, the heavens and the earth. So Elohim, the Aleph, created with his hands, his own hands, the Bet, the heavens and the earth. And the Bet was without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Aleph gimmeled, he walked, he moved, he fluttered, right, upon the face of the Mem, the waters. And Aleph paid, so Aleph said, he spoke. Elohim said, let there be Dalet. So Dalet is the opening, the door. He's letting the light in. And there was light. And Aleph ayined, he saw with his eyes, he perceived, he had knowledge. The Dalet, the light. And he said that it was Tav, it's good. It marks the spot, it's excellent. And Aleph, Het, the light from the darkness. So the Het, to divide, border off the light from the darkness, make a distinction. And Aleph called the Dalet light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Verse 6. And Aleph said, let there be Hay. So Hay is to push up, to raise, to behold. So he says, let there be Hay, expanse in the midst of the Mem, the waters, and let the Het divide the Mem from the waters, and the Mem from the Mem waters. And Aleph coughed, he made, so with his hand, the open hand, the cough, made the Hay, the expanse, and Het, the Mem, waters that were under the Hay, from the Mem, waters which were above the Hay, expanse, and it was so. Verse 8, Genesis 1:8, and Aleph paid, so he said, he called the Hay, the expanse of the heavens, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And Aleph paid, he called, he said, let the Mem, the waters under the heavens, be Lamed. So that's the shepherd hook. He's gathering together unto one place, and let the dry Tet, the land, appear. So the land, the surround, he gathers it together, puts the earth, separates the land and the sea, and it was so. Verse 10, and Aleph paid, he called the dry land Tet, the land, the earth, and the Lamed, the gathering together of the Mem waters, he called seas. And Aleph ayined, he saw that it was Tav, and it was good. Verse 11, and Aleph paid, let the Tet, the earth, bring forth grass, and the herb yielding noon, the seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed was in itself upon the Tet, the earth. And it was so. And the Tet, the earth, brought forth grass upon, and herb yielding seed, noon, after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And the Aleph ayined, that it was Ta, it was good. Verse 13, and the evening and the morning were the third day. Verse 14, and Aleph paid, he said, let there be Kuf. So Kuf is the rising, the horizon, the cycle, the time. He said, let the lights in the expanse of the heavens ket from the day from the night, and let them be for a samak, signs, and for Sadi, appointed feast, and for days. So we have the samak, which is the hedge, the prick, connects, right? It's the sign, the marker. The Sadi, well, what is Sadi is the way, the righteousness side of something. So it's the appointed feast, it's the set apart festivals. And let them be for lights, Kuf, in the Hay, in the expanse of the heavens, to give light upon the Tet, on the earth. And it was so. And Aleph coughed, he made two great Kufs, lights that the greater Kuf to rule the day, and the lesser Kuf, light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. In verse 17, Aleph yod them in the Hay expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to Ket divide the light from the darkness. And Aleph ayined, that it was Ta. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And Aleph paid, let the Mem, he said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has Zion, life. So Zion, look over here, it's a tool, it's an instrument. It also can mean rest, but it's something that's used. It's something that's brings about purpose. And the fowl may fly above the earth in the expanse of the open heaven. And Aleph created great dragons, and every Zion living creature that moves with the Mem, the waters, brought forth abundantly after their kind, their seed. And every winged fowl after his noon, his kind, his seed. And Aleph saw that it was Ta. And Aleph blessed them, saying, Be noon, be fruitful, be multiply, fill the Mem, fill the waters and the seas, and let them multiply in the Tet, the earth. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. Verse 24, And Aleph paid, let the Tet, earth, bring forth Zion, every living creature after its seed, after its kind, after its noon, cattle, creeping thing, and the beast of the earth, after his kind, his seed, his noon. And it was so. Verse 25, And Aleph yod the beast of the earth after his kind, after his seed, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps upon the earth after its kind, after its seed. And Aleph ayined, and he saw that it was Ta. And Aleph paid, he said, Let us make Resh, let us make man in our image, the head, the leader, after our tzadi, our righteousness, our likeness. And let them have dominion over the fish of the Mem, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over the Tet, the earth, and over every creeping thing that comes upon the earth. Verse 27, So Aleph Yod created Resh, man, in his own tzadi, his own righteousness, in his own image. And the image of Aleph Yod created he him, Wa, the sixth man, the number for man, and Sheen, the female, the opposite, the devourer, the fire. Yod created he them. Verse 28, And Aleph blessed them, and Aleph paid. He said unto them, Be noon, be seeds, and multiply, and replenish the Tet, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the Mem and the sea, and the fowl of the air, and over the Zion, and every living thing that moves upon the earth. And Aleph said, Hey, behold, I have given you every herb bearing noon, which is upon the face of the Tet, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding noon. So to it shall it be food for you, and to every beast of the Tet of the earth, every fowl of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the Tet and the earth, wherein there is Zion, I have given every herb for food. And it was so. Verse 31, And Aleph ayined everything that he had coughed, and behold, it was very Ta. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. Thus the bait, the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Verse 2, chapter 2, And the 7th day Aleph ended his gimmeling, his work, which he had coughed, he made, and Zion, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had coughed, he made. And Aleph blessed the 7th day, and Zioned, and sanctified it, because in it that he had Zioned he rested from all his gimmel, his work, which Aleph had yod, and created, he coughed, and made. So there's a little tidbit. Like I said, recommend you checking out the Paleo Hebrew. Get to learn these things. Get to know the Father's language, so you can know the Father's heart. His word is his heart. His word is what separates us from this death and defiled world. And we are his children. We have been set apart. We've been called for this specific purpose, to learn these things, to know these things. Open the book and find the keys to life. They're in there. Shalom.